The following program is for mature audiences only. The views expressed by the people and other guests on the podcast are their opinions and their own and don't reflect the institutions or establishments that they work for. So please do not get our asses fired or canceled. Thank you very much. Enjoy the show.
Hey, what's going on, Glad Gang? It's your boy Jay Whitaker. Welcome to Glad You Made It podcast. I'm glad you made it. Glad you're here. Glad you're listening. Thank you for all those that watch the clips. Follow us on IG, Glad You Made It podcast, Twitter, all that. You know, hit us up at Glad You Made It podcast at Gmail. I want to know how you guys like the podcast. I'm enjoying the emails. I'm going to read some once I get a bunch. So if you want to give us a review, that would be cool. You can go to iTunes, give us a nice review. It will help us, or Spotify, whatever, subscribe. Either way, just we're trying to get these follows up. You know what I'm saying? And just if you know a guest or you want to be a guest on the show and you have a story of perseverance or struggle and how you overcame it, I want to know. I want to know how you got out them struggles. You know, you went from eating Roman noodles. You in Rome eating Roman noodles. That's like a Lloyd Banks from G Unit reference. That's a terrible lyric, but it's ramen noodles, not Roman noodles. It sounds, I get it, hip hop, whatever. I want to shout out our Patreon people. I want to thank y'all for subscribing. Dr. White, Angie, Kyle, Alinda. I know I'm leaving out somebody else, but just thank you for donating. That really helps the podcast out. So if you would like to be a part of the Patreon, go to patreon.com/GladYouMadeIt. And you could be a part of the Glad Gang there. I'm going to start adding more perks to the Glad Gang. So just look for that. Now, Wilson. Sorry, my dog is like in the background being a dog. He's heat dumping. Go heat dump. Go heat dump. No play right now. I'm live talking to the people. I'm live talking. There you go. Good boy. See, this is what you guys get to listen to. I missed my dog while I was on the road. I miss my family. It was good. I was in Utah doing shows. I had a nice little guest spot. I do a lot of the audio. I usually record the audio. I might start just giving y'all some of the audio, just some snippets of just some fun crowd work that I was doing. I was at the Jordan Landing Club in West Jordan. Wise Guys, that was a good time there. Had a chance to sit down and chop it up with Aaron Suarez and John Polar Bear Gonzalez. He's on TikTok. He's very funny. Y'all should know him already. But make sure you check them out. I'm going to try and get them on the show because they have an interesting story. If you're not familiar with John Polar Bear Gonzalez, dude is half white, half Hispanic. Very funny dude, and got really popular on TikTok during the pandemic and just kind of exploded. Now he's headlining clubs, and he's been putting in the work for decades. So he's much respect. Tip my hat to them. And I had a great conversation with Aaron that led to, it was exactly what I needed to hear because I was able to tape a special independently in Utah, Salt Lake City on a Sunday night, sold it out at Wise Guys, and we had one show, one chance to get it right. And my peoples from Inglewood Films, JD Allen, DeMar Jones, Musa, even though the plane was late, the whole Inglewood family, Inglewood Films team was so cool, man. It was I'm still like, it still hasn't hit me. Because as of right now, as I record this is maybe almost exactly 24 hours ago as I record this, I was stepping on stage. I'm telling you, people were on their feet. I had my boy DJ Brisk, who's done songs for me. You can go check those songs out at Big Little Kid on Spotify. I'm just saying, type in BIG Lilkid. I got 2 songs on there. My boy Brisk. He DJ'd the set. A great musician named Jelani Harris did photography for me and stepped in at the last possible minute. Rodney Norman, like the OG Godfather, of Utah comedy, very well respected New England comic as well. He showed up and then my boy Spencer King came through, did a guest set. JD hosted. Man, it was just a crazy energy. I hadn't stepped on a Wise Guy stage in 3 years, and then a night prior to that, I hadn't stepped on a Dry Bar stage in 5 years. The Dry Bar, Provo invited me back to do a Dry Bar encore. So crazy energy, and it, like, if I'm being open and honest with you, I've always kind of had a love-hate relationship with Utah, because I've had some of my biggest trauma and painful moments, are in Utah. Not anyone's fault. So if you're listening, it's like, it wasn't you. I had to deal with some racism, but I also lost people in my life due to suicide, due to freak accidents. I got divorced there. So there's military stuff, comedy stuff, relationships. So there's a lot of just heavy history for me there. So I always get very anxious, and so I usually just kind of hole up in a hotel. Everyone's like, you should stay in my house, and it's a safe space. And I'm like, I always appreciate that, but sometimes I just want to be alone and kind of just like process my anxiety and my trauma and all that shit. So I usually just hold up. I'm just, I'm trying to get these Marriott points. But yeah, this show, like the Wise Guy show and the 2 Provo shows with Dry Bar, were like me making peace with Utah. It was like, yo, a bunch of shit that was unfortunate happened here, but I was able to overcome it, and I'm doing well. I'm doing better now. And it was like, that is the general consensus. Unfortunately, my wife wasn't with me on this run of shows. But I had great friends holding me down and reminding me, like, yo, you have mad love here. Like, the OGs came out, OG DJs came out, people I ain't seen in years came out, and it was just so cool to see. And I realized, it ain't where you're from, it's where you're at. Home is where the heart is, but it's also where the start is. And I started in Utah, and so as a comedian, and it just meant the world for people to show up, because we had most comedians are very fortunate. They usually get 2 to 4 shows, sometimes 6, to record their special, and they take the best of those shows and make something. I had 1 show to get it right, and we just did it. And I'm telling you, that was the first time in a long time when I walked off stage, I was like, yo, we did that. We did that. Short notice. So many things went wrong, but we all kept a level head. It was like, yeah, we'll be fine. We figured it out. I was so proud of everybody on my team. So shout out to the team that was with me and rocking with me that night. That was an unbelievable experience. Unbelievable. I still can't even put it. I still can't even put it into words, but it made me proud to start comedy in Utah. And like, it made me proud to represent the 801 and 385 in a proper way. It just felt different. And so I'm at peace with it. I have love for Utah. And that's my gratitude. That is my gratitude right now. It's like, yeah, and there was a parts in the show, because like I said, I got 1 chance to get this shit right, and I had to kind of, like, midway through, we're rolling, everything's going good, but I was kind of just like, all right, where's the next joke, or how do I want to transition? And I just flat out forgot some stuff. And there's one portion of the show I had to do the same joke like 3 times in a row, and kept messing up, and the crowd was with me each time. They were like, come on, we're gonna get this right. Edited in post. We just, like, I was doing jokes out of order, but we still killed, and we did it to, like, that show felt like a team effort in a real way, because, like, yeah, there were some, like, I'd say 90% of the show was smooth, but there were a couple speed bumps, and everybody was rocking with me. And at one point, I pulled out some index cards just to make sure I got all my shit off. And I was like, I want to, and we kind of went through it together. It was like, we did this joke. Y'all didn't like that one, but so we'll just scrap that in post. We could try this one out tonight, but it's not ready yet, but I'll get y'all on the next one. But it was just so cool to see the city behind me. And so it's like now I get to be a part of the Boston comedy scene, and it's a privilege and an honor to be part of that. And so I'm happy to just keep working. I got a lot of shows that are coming up. So please check my bio, check my website. It's jwhitaker.com. And I'm just so grateful, man. I'm so grateful for the opportunity, these jokes, this special, I'm leaning towards Jay Whitaker, unprecedented times. If you were there, you know why I call it that. But it feels right. It feels right. So I'm just overwhelmed, and if you're listening to this and you were at that show, please email me if you can at GladYouMadeIt@gmail. I would love to know your thoughts. What some of your favorite moments? I really just want that feedback, because this is a project that, yes, it's got my name on it, but it's also got, my comedy hometown with me. So just let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear that feedback, because I want y'all to be a part of this process. So thank you so much. Switching gears here, man. Had a chance to sit down. We recorded this interview a while back, but I had a chance to sit down with comedian Martin Morrow, and he's great. He's been on Jimmy Kimmel. You've seen him in a lot of commercials, and he's just grinding it out in LA. We had a chance to sit down. I had a chance to learn about him, because you know how they try to match us blurs up. If you don't know what a blurred is, that's a black nerd. So black nerd or blurs, bleaks, black geeks, whatever you want to call us, whatever box you want to put us in, but we're going to bust out the box anyway, baby, because that's how we do. So yes, follow Martin. You're going to love the interview. We both had our ACs on because this was recorded in July, so pardon the audio, but seriously, y'all, thank you so much for supporting the podcast. This shit means the world to me. I get to talk to y'all, and I get to have so much and connect with people again. I'm seeing the numbers. Y'all are really listening to this. Shout out New Zealand. Shout out Canada. Shout out the UK. Okay. Y'all rocking with me? Minnesota's rocking with me. North Dakota, Texas, New York, like Cali's in the house. Spokane, like y'all in the building. And Seattle, I see y'all. Kentucky, somebody in Kentucky's rocking with me. Somebody in Alaska's rocking with me, and it means a lot. I appreciate it. So if you like the podcast, just share it. Share it on your story. That's the quickest way for people to find it. Just do the share link, copy link, Spotify, boom. Do me a favor, just share it. Tell people to like and subscribe. Leave a review. Without further ado, we get into my boy, Martin Morrow. Welcome back. Welcome. Glad You Made It podcast. I've got a great guest in the house tonight, or in the evening, afternoon on the West Coast. This young man hails from Birmingham, Alabama, but currently residing in Los Angeles. Give a warm welcome to Martin Morrow.
What's up? Yes. What's up? Good.
How you feel, bro?
I'm all right, man. It's been kind of a weird week for a lot of us. But on top of that, just working and doing shows and still trying to grind. So
you've been a comedian for how long?
This will be, I think, my 14th or 15th year. I started when I was 18. I'm 33 now. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a little bit older than you. I'm not gonna say how because I'm not good at math and I don't like revealing my skincare routine. But no, man, I right. we started a little bit further apart from each other, but because I'm like 12 years in, almost 12 years in, but you know and it's weird because we were sitting there before we started the recording, like trying to figure out like when was the last time we seen each other, or have we actually seen each other, or is it like, is it one of those situations where your white friends hook you up with other equally nerdy black friends, and then they just put you in a ring like Pokemon, and they're like, yo, y'all just Squirtle and Charmander it out, like.
No, they love doing that. Oh, we hear, you. This other black guy likes wrestling too. You guys should talk. It's like,
bro, that's literally how I met Jay Washington. That's
yeah.
That's
like
how
comedy
I met.
play dates.
Yeah, but it was Lucas that did it, and Lucas Seeley, he's Laotian, so like he gets away with that. Like that was
yeah.
It felt right. It felt right. It felt like a side quest for all parties involved. So yeah, you're on your 14th year of comedy. What is like, all right, so obviously you're in LA. So you started in Birmingham, right? Or you started comedy in Chicago?
Started in Birmingham. I was there for like, so there was a lot of bars I couldn't get into and stuff like that. Cause like I said, I was 18 when I started. So I was doing like an open mic once a month at my college at Auburn.
Jesus.
Yeah. So then once I turned 21, you know, I really kind of dug deep into the Birmingham scene, and then I moved to New York for a little bit, and then back to Birmingham, and then Chicago when I turned 22.
Gotcha. All right, I'm tracking now. And then when was the jump from LA?
The jump to LA was 2017.
2017. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, because that's when we started interacting. But that's cool, man. Like, so were you always the funny cat growing up, or just? You know, or were like, your family or
no? And it's funny because like I would say I'm the least funniest in my family, but the funniest amongst my friends. And I think a lot of that had to do with like just kind of growing up around white people who didn't make. You know, it was a time where like there weren't safe spaces, so white people would just say whatever they could around you, and then you just had to kind of like, you know, roll with it and.
Yeah, I just was like, safe spaces in Birmingham, Alabama. That doesn't sound like a sentence that you often hear. You know what I mean?
No.
Like,
No, especially not for like the 2000s.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, so you know, because I know there's listeners like, what? Racism still exists? Guess what? It does. Yeah, it still does. It still happens. It's unfortunate. But, you know, this is why this show is called Glad You Made It, because I'm glad his brother made it out of Birmingham.
Yeah,
you know?
It was like a different type of racism. That's like I think when people kind of put together racism in Alabama, their idea goes to like, oh man, you had to like run through fields and get chased, and they were calling you this, that, third. It was like a lot more subtle than that. That's what.
Yeah,
I think that's what the scary thing was, because you can't directly say this person's being racist until they are like, I had someone who told me like, I don't like black people, but you're all right. I'll never forget that shit.
Right. Oh, man, I've heard that time and time again. First of all, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry. I do have a question. This shit happened when I was down in Mississippi, and I know, you know, it's Alabama and Mississippi, two different states, but very close in proximity. Do they get you with the barbecue? Like, do they have these like racist barbecues?
Wait,
awkward silence. I've heard that. Like, I heard that they recruit like members at like I don't know, recruit Proud Boys or whatever at these barbecues or something like that. Man, that's.
Oh, that must have been after I left, because I don't think I've.
Okay, thank goodness. All right,
barbecue Proud Boys.
Barbecue Proud. Anyways. But so obviously you got out of Birmingham, and then moving around to New York. What? Tell me what that was like.
And New York was dope. You know, I would get to just consume comedy all the time, and it also made me realize how bad I was at that time, because I came in 21. I was like the you know, in Alabama it was just different. Like you could get laid off of an open mic set, like that kind of thing. So, but it was because everybody was so bad that being new or different or like talking about something else made me look better by comparison.
Yeah.
So then coming to New York, it really humbled me. It and like I would go home crying every night because I would
Damn.
watch like the Donald Glovers and Aziz and Baron Vaughn and Hannibal and Peggy O'Leary and all this stuff, and then I would go up and I would die. I'd die 1,000 deaths on stage, and then but I would keep doing it, and I didn't get my own like kind of. I was like, why am I tortured? Like because I had an internship for Ugly Betty. And I would have to be up at 8 in the morning. I would have to be there at 8 in the morning. So I'd end up being out in like Manhattan till 2, 3 in the morning. Come to Queens, which is like a 45-minute trip if I'm lucky or whatever. And then I get like maybe a little bit of sleep, and then have to hop up and go do this internship. So there just was a lot of time where I was like, why am I torturing myself like this?
Yeah, I was just about to say. So, and what was the why?
It's something I found. There's this guy told me years later. He's like comedy, art, entertainment. Because he would do a play. He was an older white dude, and he would do a play once a year. That's what he would do for himself. Once a year, he'd do a play. And he said, he said, if you can stop, get out. But sometimes it's in you, where you just have to keep going and keep chasing it.
Yeah.
And that's how you're really in the game. And I think it was that. I think it was just that matter of like, oh, I'm deep in. I know I'm good at this. I know I have stories to tell, and some minds to change, or at least interactions to have. So I think that's what kind of kept pushing for me.
What do you consider one of your greatest like accomplishments and moments? Just in comedy, not just. You've obviously done a lot of commercials as well, and I mean, in late night appearing with Jimmy Kimmel and all that stuff. What would you consider? That you're like, oh, this is. I'm gonna put my. I'm gonna remember this for the rest of my life.
Oh man, when it had to be 2000. It was the end of 2009. I was in this improv group that, like, again, that kind of self-torture where I would drive 2 hours from Auburn on Sundays to Birmingham to rehearse with them and then have to drive right back.
What?
Yeah. But we did this show in December of that year, and it was the only time my dad got to see me perform in the confines of comedy. So both my dad and stepdad were there, and I remember being like, "Dad, just come to a different one. I don't want it to be weird." Da 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 da. But he came through, and it was good. We hung out afterwards and all this stuff, and it kind of, I don't know, it was cool to see like our relationship kind of have a second chance before he passed away the following year. So I'd definitely put that one up there. And then I think being able to do. Like the experience itself at Second City wasn't my favorite, but being able to do it was I'd say like a big accomplishment. That felt really good.
Hell yeah! Well, I mean, and especially all right. So I gotta ask, how was your set in front of your pop?
It was good. I mean, it was
yeah.
improv.
Okay, all right,
yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's good because that's the last thing you want. My mom, and it's true because I know that feeling where you're like, "Hey, can you just come to a different show because you don't want them to see the sad show." You know what I mean? Where it's like you're in the venues, may not be like, the venue may be a little bit sketchy, or there might be 5 people in the audience. You want them to come to come to the theater show, because family members, they don't. I feel like we expect them. They have an idea of what a comedy club should look like, and when you show them a laundromat and a mic stand, they're gonna be like, "Oh man,
it diminishes the expectation of
right,
greatness and all that stuff."
Yeah, but that was cool that you had that experience for you. So now you're in LA.
Yeah.
Pandemic, all that, just grind. What I miss home. And what part you stay in?
Burbank.
Okay, you in Burbank. Oh,
Yeah, that's why I have 9 fans on right now.
Yeah, I was just about to say, if you can hear all the fans in the background of his place, that means climate change is real, bitch. It's like so. But so you're in LA. It's brick outside. It's hot. It's crazy. It's all that. So how are you taking care of yourself right now?
Drinking lots of water, man. That's been number one. Drinking lots and lots of water. Trying to I
love a brother that hydrates.
Yeah, man. I got my little 7-Eleven purified right here with me. You know.
Okay, I see you, King. Yeah. Don't forget to moisturize as well. But I'm sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, that's a big one. Going on walks when it's not like too crazy hot. Like I got a dog, so that helps too with like making sure like I have to get up, because I think when I was in my most depressed state, I would just lie in bed all day. So having a dog is like this kind of extra motivation of like, yo, I gotta go pee, otherwise you're gonna be cleaning some stuff up, and I don't think you want to do that. And I got a personal trainer a couple weeks ago, so that's been another one that's like really helped.
There you go.
Yeah. So just being able to like work out. Yeah.
Like, yeah. I mean, well, because that's I'm a firm believer that I love to work out, but it's just like, how's it affected your writing? Are you one of those, like, I write my best when there's water nearby, or like as I'm working out?
I gotta say, I also like how right after you said working out, you moved your arm to flex a little bit. Like you're like, every now and then I try to.
Damn. I honestly, I didn't even think about that, but you called me out. It's on. You called me in 4K or at least 1080p, and you got me. Okay, all right. I see you. You got me.
Yeah, keep going. I mean,
No, it's all I'm saying is just like, for me, working out helps me write, and then just water. It's I think I do my best thinking in the shower. I take these like long ass showers, and I'm sitting there. I come up with a new 10 minutes that is actually 2 minutes. But how do you feel usually after, like, when's your how do you feel after a workout? When's your best time to write?
I've been feeling good. I like working out. I think I just have to start liking the motivation to get up and work out. I think that's something like, what's the statement? It takes like 6 weeks to form a good habit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's
too damn long.
Exactly.
I didn't even know it was that long. I was like, God,
bro.
You said that shit 6. I was like, 6 weeks. Damn, that's what, 3 paychecks?
Yeah, I feel like I should just be able to do like 12 sit-ups and have abs. I think that should, if I do it 12 times a day, like, just give me the abs. I'm trying to do something. Just like help me out a little bit. Like, it's, I don't know. I hate science.
It's the worst too. It's the worst because, like, you want to bulk, and then but you got to do cardio, and then once you turn like 33. Everything just gets weird. Like you eat one Skittle and you gain 5 pounds. Like you look bloated. It's weird. All I'm gonna say is just like don't have a body dysmorphia. Don't feel like you need to be this massive superhero. Just be you, man. Just be happy with what. Especially right now. Especially because, in my opinion, I feel like black men, we're constantly like, we're expected to look this certain way. Yeah. We're supposed to be this muscular figure and appreciate it for our bodies. But nah, man, just be happy with you. I work out because I like to work out, but I at one point in my life I felt like I needed to be like that super hyper man, like, yeah, fuck you, I got muscles coming out my ass, you know what I mean? I'm just like, yeah, I just want to be good enough to move a refrigerator. I'm good with that, you know what I mean? So just be happy. Just be happy with that. But like, is your trainer nice to you? Does he talk shit to you, or is he like one?
No, I've gone through, man. So because like a lot of them are on vacation and whatnot. So I got one who's like a black lady, and she always tells me how like Because I'm the type of dude I like to just push through whatever. Like she was like, oh, she was like, you can just do 12 this time. Like, no, I can do the 15. Let me get to the 15 or whatever. The rotation.
Yeah.
So like when she says like you motivate me or like you push me that makes me feel better. Like so like and then I have a new dude who I've been working with this week while she's on vacation. So Australian cat. Also real cool, and he's like, "Now today we're gonna work on such and such, and do it." Yeah. So I get motivated by the people around me when they're like really trying to push me to go that extra mile. So I dig it.
Absolutely. No, that's dope. But I mean, like, was there just a moment you woke up and you just looked at your dog and you're like, "Yo, I gotta change something."
I think it was I went home. For Easter, like I surprised my family, and
okay, so I did the same.
Oh, nice.
That's
look
cool.
Look at us surprising black men.
Yeah, on just surprising black folks on Easter Sunday. I did it. Yeah, that was cool. Hell yeah. But yeah, you came home,
but like seeing like my cousin had lost some weight because we were like doing like a dad bod thing at the same time, and then he had lost some weight. And I was like, this nigga. So now, and then like how like grandmothers don't have a filter after a certain age, like they just talk shit to you.
Whoa.
Yeah. So my granny, my mom and my uncle have to kind of rotate in between, staying with her at night and stuff, so she don't fall down or whatever. You know how old people are. So when I'm in town, I volunteer to stay with her so they don't have to, so they can have like a day off. And so that kind of requires like having to cook her breakfast, and like you're also not like able to sleep well because you're basically sleeping in a chair. And one of the things, like I remember I made her grits that morning. She was like, "You're not going to eat too?" And I go, "No, Granny, I'm doing like this, it's hard to explain a lot of like newer people shit. Like I can't explain intermittent fasting to someone as I'm also like trying to leave. So I'm just like, no, I'm not, I'm probably going to eat a little bit later. Go, oh, okay, yeah. Well, why you not eating now? You ain't going to fall out or nothing? I'm like, no, I'm not going to fall out. It's like this diet thing I'm working on. Okay, yeah, because you did get pretty big. And I'm like, who the fuck? Why are you fucking talking to me like that after I just made you grits? Like who?
Yeah.
So I,
sugar or salt in the grits.
She just wanted butter. Unless you're asking me personally. Me, I'm more of a like.
Yeah, I'm asking you personally. There's no judgment. There's no.
I've never put sugar in my grits.
Okay, that's fine. Like, there's no judgment. I know this would immediately divide a cookout, but I just want to know.
Are you a sugar grits man?
Because right now, I am honestly whatever is available. Like honestly, that is just me. If there's butter, sugar, salt, grits, I'll put it all in there. I don't give a damn. So yeah, people that are listening, you can judge if you want, but guess what? I got options, bitch. And so I'm gonna take
poly grits
and poly grits. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, like were you intermittent fasting at that time?
So I started later on after Easter. Yeah.
Okay. Because I would love to just hear you explaining intermittent fasting to somebody else, like to your granny. I feel like there's something there.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? But LA, it's now I'm watching the news. I only came home on Easter Sunday. I was only in town for kid you not, 24 hours, maybe 18 at best. Is it as crazy as the news is making it out for me right now? Or what's the craziest post-pandemic thing you've seen in LA?
Craziest post-pandemic thing I've seen in LA. I don't say I limit my outdoor time, but I only have so much patience for shit.
Yeah.
So I think there's this bar. Like I said, I live in Burbank. There's this bar that got shut down during the pandemic, like everything else, right? But the bartender, or excuse me, the bar owner refused to shut down, so he was still letting people in, and it became it would get shut down, and they'd have to pay a fine, and it became this weird freedom of whatever kind of war. So
freedom of whatever.
yeah, so it was like, so you'd see like a bunch of white people like protesting outside and stuff, and like they'd be blasting what's the like I'm proud to be an American and all that kind of goofy shit. And it's like, clearly you're not, because
for a bar?
Yeah, for a bar. And then it turns out it wasn't even like the owner was overseas, so it was actually his son who was doing all the like goofy shit.
Wow.
But like they had to put like a cage around it and like chain the doors, and then you'd see the white people upset outside of it, and they'd go on the corner, and you know, they'd like, at one point they walked into, it was like right after the mask mandates had dropped, and I remember they walked into our Ralph's, they walked to our grocery store, and they like took their masks off, and it's like, nigga, we already stopped wearing masks, so it's not even like too late to be shocking or whatever.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Everybody. I feel like I'm so glad that a lot of that is kind of like it's kind of over. Knock on wood. I don't know, but I now that it's summertime, I feel like everybody's they have the option to vacation. They have the option to kind of get away, and people they coming out of the house like angry. But also, like, then once they get outside for a minute, they're like, all right, and like they just get away. People are coming out angry, but they also like calming down. You know, I was talking about this. I saw this guy at a Rotary. You know what a Rotary is, right?
I only know like a rotary phone. So
on the east. No, yeah, okay. You know what a roundabout is, right?
Oh, yeah, you drive in a roundabout. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, on the East Coast, they call them rotaries because they're massive. Whatever. Massachusetts, Boston, shit. Like, I don't know. So this dude is like, he's in front of me. The rotary's backed up. There's traffic for a solid mile. And I'm listening to my music. I'm listening to some, like, lo-fi, but it's like, it's like it. And I was like, what is that screaming? Because I could hear it over my music. It was the dude in front of me. He was just having a full-on, like, meltdown. And it made me feel like, I laughed for a minute because it was a Toyota Tercel. I don't know why that made me just laugh, but it just made me feel bad for the dude because I'm like, damn, people are really mad right now. What do we do? How do we fix it, Martin?
Medication. And meditation.
You meditate?
Every now and then. I'm trying to do better about it. But yeah, I used to kind of heavy. Like I'd play that kind of music off of YouTube. I had Headspace, and then where I work as a square job, they'd given us Headspace, but like I don't know, it was weird. Like for whatever reason, my link didn't work, and I was like, see, they're trying to make sure I stay. That's like my conspiracy theory. Is like, nah, these white people don't want to see me be great. That's why
they don't want to see my chakras align. Yeah. You know, no. All right. So I've never tried. Like I won't say I've never, but I've tried to get into meditation, and each time I do it, I can't. I think my mind is racing too much, and I guess I might have to like try this for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, and. What do you have it like? Honestly, I'm asking you, comic to comic, brother to brother, friend to a friend. Like, what should I do to start? To anybody that like is, you know.
Honestly, so Headspace has this trial, and it's not a commercial for Headspace, but they have like a trial where like you just hear this little British dude kind of talking to you in a calm voice and stuff like that. And I think that's the number one thing that.
It's always British dudes.
They have that calm voice, man. So yeah, that like he tells you like clear your mind, and like the way he says it is like, but also it's like if you have a moment where something pops in there, then it's fine. But it's a lot like looking at it like traffic. And so that I think that kind of helped a lot of just remember that aspect of it.
Yeah. Huh. I think of it like traffic. All right, so just roll with it, and just let it take you where you need to be. As far as other tips, and just best practices for you as a comic, what would you say to anybody that's starting out, that says, I want to get up on this. I want to, I want to be on that stage. I want to do that open mic. I want to be in that laundromat. I want to be in that theater. I want to be in that comedy club.
Man, one thing, like, if I could go back and talk to younger me, I would say don't worry so much about trying to be everyone's friend or date people or fuck people or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very envious. Josh Johnson? Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of saw him start off and how he navigated everything, where everyone wanted, I wouldn't say everyone wanted him on shows, but you see him on shows, and he was always nice to people. He was always just, like, very gracious and funny and fun and whatever. Never saw him take a sip of alcohol. Never saw him, like, at a party or any of that kind of stuff. Never saw him, like, oh, man, yeah, Josh Johnson, he's, like, dicking these hoes down. Like, it was never like that. He would go in, he'd do his set, he'd kind of schmooze a little bit, thank yous, all that jazz, and then he'd be out. And you see how his career just, like, took off, and I think a lot of that was because he had that humility to himself and had that ability to say no to a lot of things, and also just, like, not mind cutting off the part of us that, and it's not to say he didn't hang out or didn't have, like, friends or whatever, but I think, like, sometimes we take the idea of comedy community too far, and it becomes like a literal commune instead, and it's like this weird, like, us versus them, and, we got to cut off this person's head, we got to do this, that, the third, as opposed to, like, just be funny. Like, right. I think that oftentimes we focus, I always say that people who stir drama in comedy is because they can't be funny. Like, drama is very easy to do. You just say a thing, you heard a thing, you saw whatever.
Absolutely.
And it's, so I think just, someone starting off in comedy, just, remember that. Just find out where the places are you can perform. Don't worry about the bullshit, and keep your head down and have fun with it. I think that's the most important thing, is that you're having fun.
Yeah, like, what excites you to get up? Like, because how many mics are you hitting, or not just mics, but how many shows are you hitting on average a week?
It varies. Like,
if you don't mind me asking.
What's today? Today's Thursday, so I got two shows tonight, and then I had 2 shows yesterday, and then I had some other shows earlier this week, and then, like, the week before that I had, like, a bunch of stuff. So it really, like, bops around, but usually, like, the average is, like, 4 to 8. But also, like, I'm good about not forcing, like, oh, man, I got to go to an open mic. Yeah.
Yes. Right. I feel you on that, because there are times where I'm like, I get antsy where I'm like, I need to get up, but then I'm like, it's balance. There's everything that comes in balance, and I think that's what makes this job, and I take it seriously. Yes, I'm fortunate to have a stable career in the service, but I'm also, I approach stand-up like I approach my job in the service. And so it's just like, but I have to have that work-life balance, and got to take care of my family, and so there's times where it's just like, I know I got to get up. My wife will just kick me out of the house. Well, not kick me out of the house, but she'll be like, get out and go on stage, and, like, so you could stop being so fucking annoying. And I'm grateful for her to do that, baby. I'm grateful for that. Thank you, baby. I love you. If you're listening, she's not listening, but I appreciate it. But what? I won't take too much of your time because I know you got stuff to do. But I do want to, like, thank you for just stopping in, and this obviously. I'm trying to. I know it could be simply just 2 comedians sitting there bullshitting over geek shit, freak shit, and all that type of stuff. But I definitely like to hit people with some positive stuff in the face, and people take it from people that actually have lived it. And I look to you as I see you, man. Like, it's crazy, because I'll never forget when I'm watching Jimmy Kimmel and I saw you in that sketch, and I was like, what the fuck? It was like, I know that brother. And so but it's just cool. And I don't know if you hear it enough. And I don't know if it means anything from me to you, but I mean, like, I'm just happy for you and I'm proud of you, bro. And that's what honestly why I reached out to you to do this, because it's just like you know, comedy is hard.
Yeah.
It is hard. And I knew you was in Chicago. I didn't know you were in New York, but I know you're in LA, and I know those are 3 very difficult places to make a living off doing comedy and being successful. So, you know, not to sound corny on the name of the podcast, but glad you made it, man. I'm just happy.
I appreciate
for you,
that, man.
So.
And thank you for having me. And I'm glad you made it as well, brother. You know, it's good to see you out here thriving with your muscles and your Wu-Tang posters and stuff. Like, looks like it.
All right, so Wu-Tang. All right, who are you picking? Who is your top 3 out of Wu-Tang?
I mean, it's gonna sound mad commercial, but Meth, Red, and ODB. Yeah,
He's the heartthrob. Method Man,
ODB. Method Man,
One more time?
Redman, ODB.
Yes, and that's solid. And like some people might be saying, well, no, Redman is not a member. Yes, he is. Google it. They added him on. So yeah, you know, it's a real thing. I asked my brother this, and I feel like I should ask almost everybody on the show, which one or more are the Black Ninja Turtles? And why?
Wait, from Wu-Tang or are we talking rap in general?
No. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Which ones are black? If it may be 1, it may be all, it may be 2, maybe 3, whatever.
Sorry, it cut out. Somebody was trying to call me real quick.
Okay. All right. So black. So I've asked this question before to my friends. This is a debate.
Oh, which one of the Ninja Turtles is black? Raphael.
Yeah, absolutely. Or more.
Yeah.
Thank you. I keep telling people
Raphael,
this.
easy.
Thank you. That's all right.
And I would
wrestling.
give people the argument of Donatello. Michelangelo is definitely white. Like, there's no, yeah.
Okay.
It's pizza, you know, all that shit. Yeah, he's white as can be. Like, this is general. He's like a golden retriever more than a turtle. But yeah, definitely Raphael. He got that dog in him.
I think Leonardo is Asian.
I can see that.
People don't talk enough about that. A lot of people think Leonardo would be white, but I think he's Asian. You know, I think, you know, he's very, he's just got that vibe. I don't know. But yeah, okay, because the debate I always have is Raphael and Donatello are black. And so when I say that, people are like, nah, Raphael's Italian.
Nah.
I'm like, nah, man. Nah,
There's a different type of energy.
Okay. All right. See, thank you. This is the ongoing question that I will always ask on this podcast is I don't give a damn if you white. I don't give a damn if you green, black, whatever. I'm going to ask people this question. And then I know you love wrestling. So who were your wrestlers
growing up? Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, The Rock, obviously, Undertaker. Fuck with Kane pretty heavy until, you know, recent. Like, that's the other thing. Like, I hate now that we just have to know all the wrestlers' politics. I'm like, God, another one? Yeah.
Yeah. That's like, oh man, like it's you know, all we needed to know was like when we found out when Hulk Hogan was racist. For me, that was like, I'm done. I just was like, all right, I'm done. To me, like, Hulk told everybody it was fake, and then you're racist? Yeah. Come on, man.
But I've said it before.
It's just bad for the culture.
This is a dude named Terry who wears bandanas from Florida. There's no way he wouldn't. Yeah. Of course that dude don't want niggas fucking his daughter. If anybody, of course, Terry Bollea, who comes out to real American. The NWO was they were like a gang. And you mean to tell me you have a gang invading an Atlanta company and the only black people you can find to be in your gang are Vincent, and Stevie Ray eventually. Come on, man. Yeah.
Fair. I'll give you.
They could have
I'll
chosen
give you
between
that.
Scott Norton
you
or
that.
Ice Train, and they went with Scott Norton. They told me everything. I was like, yeah, of course, Hollywood Hogan don't like niggas. It's Mr. Nanny.
And there you have it. And there you have it right there. Proof is in the pudding. But either way, man, I do. That took a weird turn, but I love it. But I appreciate it. I won't take too much of your time. Is there anything you want to plug? Where people?
Yeah,
where
please
can
give
people
me a
find
follow on all socials at Martin Morrow, spelled like tomorrow. It's free to throw a follow out there. And if I post all my shows on Instagram. And I think that directs right to my Facebook. I don't check Facebook as much as I should, but send me a message if any of what I said resonated with you or helped out at all. So I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, follow this man. If you're a Geek Show listener, if you're not listening to Geek Show, that's the other podcast that I rock with. But if you're a Geek Show listener, definitely, because that's right. You've performed at cons.
LA Comic Con this past year. Yeah.
You've done comedy at cons. Yeah. So first of all, that's awesome. But I mean, just check him out, give him a follow, and Brother Martin, I appreciate you just stopping by, taking time out of your busy day. Stay cool, stay healthy, stay motivated, stay hydrated.
Thank you, and you do the same, brother.
Peace. Thank you, man.